You know, the vote went against Cameron because Parliament were very worried that going to war is like a mobile phone contract. It's very easy to start, it's impossible to leave, and it's very expensive when you're abroad.
It's a bit rich, though, that Labour have come out so heavily against any kind of action, though, doesn't it? Labour are all like, oh, we shouldn't be, not without UN support and not if it's illegal. And memories are kind of short, aren't they?
Yes.
So don't you remember Iraq? It just seems a bit much, Labour taking this hard line with the Tories on this. It's a bit like Madonna phoning up Lady Gaga and going, for God's sake, put some clothes on.
Well, the thing is, you know, we've said, you know, the way to stop him killing innocent civilians is probably not sending in cruise missiles which are liable to kill innocent civilians. But we need to send him something to make him think twice about using chemical weapons again. Something surprising. I'm thinking atomic kitten. They've just
You know what? Of the many criteria in which you judge that, I think surprise, it definitely rates very highly. Which lineup of Atomic Kitten are you planning to send in?
Well, if you send in Kerry Katona with a credit card, she will bankrupt the country.
Kerry Katona would bring more chemicals in, though, so...
According to Obama now, this is going to harm the special relationship, and John Kerry as well has said that the special relationship is now in jeopardy, which I think is good, because I think the special relationship has always been a bit creepy, especially when you consider the age difference between the UK and the US.
But the special relationship fell apart about 10 years ago, didn't it, in Love Actually, when Hugh Grant was in charge?
Is this why you chose politics as a choice?
I always think, you know, if you're not sure on something, give it a go. It might be for you.
How has Obama reacted to this, then?
Oh, very badly.
He's done his homework.
Yes. The first subject is travel. Who wants to come in on that? Ari.
I do a lot of travel. I actually do a lot of flying. I had to fly over here because I live on an island. I flew with Icelandair, and I used to work for Icelandair as a flight attendant. It's actually quite common to only have, like, men serving the food and only women flying the planes. And this is the 21st century, after all. But a lot of the passengers are, like, elderly men from the 20th century. And it was so much fun to be on those flights with the trolley, because you get to see the elderly male passenger reaction to two men with food, which was usually like... Look, Gunnar, the captain himself is bringing coffee for us. Hang on, who is flying the plane? And then a woman would do the announcement, politely, professionally, like, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sigríður Einarsdóttir, I'm your captain today. We'll be flying to London Heathrow in approximately 3... And these old men would be like, it's a woman, it's a woman, it's a woman, it's a woman. It was like a musical number starting, it's a woman, it's a woman, it's a woman. How could this happen? And they would, like, ask, like, excuse me, is it really a woman flying the plane? And it annoyed me so much that I always said, yes. And she's having her period. You have a problem with that, old man? And they would ask, like, is that allowed? Of course it's allowed. What's wrong with you? It's ridiculous. In fact, I trust a woman way better to fly a plane than a man. They seem to take it more seriously. I can understand everything they say during the announcement. I never understand the male pilots at Icelandair. They all sound the same. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain and I thought it makes spirits a little bit of a deal because hope you enjoy the service. And when it's finally over, people are like, what? What did he say? Like, it must be awful if you're afraid of flying. But if you are afraid of flying, you should never fly with our other airline in Iceland, because it's called WOW! But it's not a very reassuring name for an airline. Wow, it's like they don't even know how they got up there in the first place. Wow! How did we do that? An airline called WOW, that's like having a bank that's called fuck! Put your money here!
That leaves us with Tom. Let's spin the wheel and see what your topic is. The topic is exercise.
Also a picture of me. I'm not very good at exercise. I joined the gym. I joined Virgin Active because there wasn't a Virgin Passive. And I found the whole process very intimidating. Like, when you go in there, you're confronted with all the cardio area, like the cardio area. They call it cardio because that's where you go to have a heart attack. And then at the other end, they have what they call the free weights section, the free weights, which I have no business being in because it's for the bigger boys. The bigger boys go there all day. They're lifting things all day, trying to get big arms, trying to turn their arms into legs. And I think it all really started at school. Like, I didn't like doing PE at school. What would happen is, after assembly, one class would have to stay behind in the hall because they'd be doing gym. And I never found out who Jim was. The worst bit was if you had to use the apparatus. And the apparatus basically was this huge, terrifying cage which had to be buckled to the wall. It was so terrifying. And older children would have to come in who'd been trained by the army. And they'd come in and they'd untether its bonds, and they'd pull a lever and it would lurch out and it would swing out, and these huge, terrifying arms have to be buckled to the floor, otherwise it would just swing out and kill everybody. They had all these bars and ropes and chains. It was very much like a weekend I recently spent in Berlin.
Thank you very much. The boys go to Tom Owens. All right. Okay, here we go. The first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a TV detective show.
The suspect has got a gun, but it's okay. Gaz has arrived and he's brought chicken and a fishing rod.
I'm not doing it. This is a midwinter murder. It's freezing. It's not in the contract.
And as you can see from the samples we've taken, that we've scraped from under her fingernails, she was manky.
He were a policeman that got hit by a car and thought that he'd woken up in 1970. He were wrong. It were present day. This is CSI Hull.
Sergeant, if you look closely, there are semen stains all over these bed sheets. Let's book into the Holiday Inn instead.
Poirot, you've done it again. You've bored me shitless for the last 2 hours.
So that's it. At the end of a 3-month investigation, that is it. It's Colonel Mustard in the living room with a lead pipe.
Inspector, has anyone ever said that you look an awful lot like David Jason from Only Fools and Horses?
Yes, Miss Marple, we've had the lab results back, and it's very interesting. Actually, it's thrush.
He fits the profile. This is going to be a really boring episode of Hole in the Wall.
You're probably wondering why I've asked you all to gather here in the library. Sorry.
Probably wonder why I've asked you to gather in the library.
It's the TV presenter, Noel Edmonds. Have you any idea why he was killed? It's the TV presenter, Noel Edmonds.
Ken Stott is Detective Inspector David Sod in Sod's Law.
Well, we know now who's responsible for the killing. It's society, yeah? Yeah, you want to think about that,
The body is that of Eamon Holmes. We may need a little more chalk.
Why will Sir Ranulph Fiennes not be at home for Christmas?
He'll be dead. He'll be dead in the snow. Like that. That's why.
Why do people... Well, they surely freeze like that. Why is it people always freeze like that?
He's walking across the South Pole for Christmas.
For Christmas.
I love that song. Walking across the South Pole for Christmas.
Chris Rea is
I'm gonna
best
lose
work.
my
They
other limb.
reckon for Ranulph Fiennes, they reckon it's going to be minus 90 at some point. Minus 90. A popularity rating Nick Clegg would kill you.
He said it's the most hostile environment on Earth, but he's clearly never been in a Wetherspoons at breakfast time.
Well, it was his partner that came up with the idea, isn't it? It wasn't him that came up with the idea, and his partner's not going, which I love. Yeah, we're going to go across the South Pole at winter. You come in. Nah. Hey, you go. I'll watch from here.
His partner said it's because he would miss out on his pension. Okay, what? That is the worst excuse I've ever heard.
Hang on, who'd miss out on the pension? Oh, the partner isn't going because they'd miss out on the
pension? Yeah, he said it affected his pension. Mainly because he'd die, I imagine.
Well, he was 65, wasn't he?
His pension. Is he...
His partner's pension. Well, I read this.
Is he gay?
No.
What?
No,
no, his travel partner.
Oh, his travel partner. Oh, God, I thought I'd missed a big story somewhere on the way about Ranulph Fiennes.
We're going to go across the Arctic at night, and we are going to look amazing. No one's going to be able to see us.
That's not fur for warmth. That's just a big headdress like in the village people.
Yeah. Sorry. He's done everything, Ralph. He's climbed Everest. He's been over both of the poles. He's found the lost city of Rome. He's taken an expedition up the White Nile. You can't help thinking, is everything all right at home?
What are you running from? What are you running away from?
He took us on that expedition where he sawed his fingers off. That was with a saw that apparently he'd taken in case he needed to saw his fingers off. That's his pessimism, isn't it?
Do you know the best thing is now that you can actually get that as an app.
I was in Siberia not that long ago, minus 52 degrees, right? And it was so cold. We were told, we were in a tent, if we went outside for a piss, right, we had to shake as we pissed, because otherwise it was going to freeze back onto our penis, right? I tell you, that was a hell of a quick piss. Nothing frightens you more than you thinking you might get frostbite of the penis. Which was when I was quite grateful I've still got a foreskin, because I figured if I did, I'd still have a little bit to lose and it wouldn't actually matter.
I think just to come out of a tent in the morning and see like a sculpture of kind of half-arced and quite dangerous. Ah, Andy, why don't you go further away from the tent?
We start, as ever, with our round called Headliners. Here's a picture of former Prime Minister Tony Blair recently, but what does BGBC stand for?
Is it Britain's greatest bullshitter celebrates?
Is it, in fact, Blair's guilt-free, blood-stained conscience?
That was a lovely answer.
Is he just suggesting what he thinks the next stage in the world should be, the next thing that should happen? Is it bomb Germany, bomb China?
Is it? That would have been an amazing turn in the inquiry. If just randomly picked countries and went, yeah, if I was still in power, oh, yeah, you'd be gone.
Hey, gang, is it Blair? Great Britain's catastrophe. Oh, I'll go there.
Is it just a description of him? Is it like balder, greyer, besotted by cash?
Is it Blair given blue cordon? You see in the picture.
Oh, yeah, he has, yeah. She irritates me.
Is it, in fact, everything the British Army didn't have when we went to war? Bullets, guns, bombs, choppers.
Is it Bush's grinning bum chum?
Would somebody give me the answer?
Blair grilled by Chilcott.
Very good. Well done, Andy. What are the policies that they mentioned?
There's a policy for the unemployed, which is it's a great policy. What happens is if you can't find a job, you've got to clean up litter or feed old people, which is kind of offensive to old people that they've said they're the worst two jobs.
What you need to do, actually, is get one half of the job list to pick up litter and the other half of the job list to drop the litter. And that way, you've got twice as many people busy and you're not robbing anyone of employment.
There is a big issue about the employment of wombles after this.
They've all come over from Bulgaria anyway.
No one wants to be made unemployed. It's a horrible thing. I mean, to be handed a clock and shown the door, especially if you work for Al-Qaeda.
Other plans that the long-term unemployed would pick up litter, and that also that they would... How often do they have to go to the job centre?
Well, every day.
Every single day.
And I think if you're going to go to the job centre every day, you might as well give them a job in the job centre.
And the Help to Buy schemes, the Help to Buy scheme.
I'm in favour of home loans, but I think it was a bit formulaic by Home Loans 3.
Like he was like 19 or something. It was like, we're all going off on holiday. Yeah, right, I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
The problem is I don't think most people understand all this stuff. So I think if you want to appeal to people, it needs to be more simple. Like, I would probably pay a bit more attention if one of the policies was all fire alarms just start off by going, psst, your toast is just a bit burnt. And then I go, oh, right, this guy knows what he's talking about. Or if the government made plug sockets higher so you didn't have to bend over as much. Yorkshire puddings with every meal, yes, Graham. This stuff, I just get confused. Too many numbers, too many people. I don't know what's going on.
I look forward to some of you, because you...
I thought this was Buzzcocks.
Next topic is things that would change the atmosphere at a dinner party.
Ignore the banging. She's been in there for 24 years.
Help yourself to Nibbles. He was our favourite hamster, but it's what he would have wanted.
Are you sure this is pork? It's just because Mike Crackling has a tattoo.
Don't worry, we don't say grace. We just sacrifice a child to the great god Imhotep.
Doorbell! Excellent. That'll be Heather Mills and James Blunt. Hope he's brought his guitar.
I hope nobody's allergic to nuts, because I like to rest mine on the table.
Well, this is absolutely lovely. I say we all raise a glass to the Fuhrer!
10 of you arrived. Only one will leave.
Anyway, long story short, after about 2 hours, you couldn't tell what was poo and what was chocolate.
There is a vegetarian option. You can fuck off.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Russell Ed and Andy. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is air travel. Who wants to come in on that? Jimmy.
So, folks, our government is now talking about
giving the pilots guns on the plane. I honestly think somebody in the plane should have a gun. I don't think the pilot is the person that should have the gun. They already have a very important job. If they all of a sudden have to be involved in gunplay, who's flying the plane? Get back in your seat. Get back in your seat. Don't make me go back there. You son of a bitch. Hold the wheel. You. I said put that tray table up.
Here we go. OK, let's see what we've got left for Frankie. Let's spin the wheel again. And it's drinking.
As a teetotal alcoholic, that should be quite good. I drink energy drinks now. It's good that they've finally managed to can anxiety. It's good that there's a drink that gives me the resting heart rate of a serial killer who's just spotted that there's a sale on at B&Q. I hate this thing where Guinness always go, oh, we're the national drink of Ireland. Yeah, you're the national drink of a nation of alcoholics. That's like saying that you're Gary Glitter's favourite search engine. I'm teetotal, right? A concept which Scottish people don't understand. So I did a gig in Fife, and I was on stage, and this guy was going up to the bar, and he went, hey, I'll get you a drink as well. And I went, well, I used to be an alcoholic, so I don't drink anymore, but thanks anyway. And he looked at me for a bit, and then he went, a pint of lager shandy?
Frankie Boyle. I'm going to give it to Jimmy and Frankie.
Really?
This topic is unlikely things to hear at a party conference.
Yes, I'm a millionaire. Yes, I went to Eton. But I really feel I can relate to the rest of you scum.
My name's Dave, like the TV channel. We both repeat the same old shit over and over again.
Would Nick Clegg please come to Lost Property, where his missing spine has been handed in?
Am I to the left? Am I to the right? I'll be honest. It depends which trousers I'm wearing.
So that concludes the conference. One more question. Would anyone like to buy a 40-foot sign with the word Conservatives written on it?
I'd avoid the hotel bar. Anne Widdecombe's in there reading 50 Shades of Grey.
It has just been unacceptable cut after unacceptable cut. Why can't Boris Johnson find a proper hairdresser?
Welcome to the UKIP conference, the first conference to be held here in Islamabad.
Education, education, education. Can someone fix my auto cue, please?
Politicians, ready! Gladiators, ready!
Let's get drunk and join the Euro.
This government say they're phasing out Roman numerals. Not on my watch.
There have never been enough women in this party, and that is why, from this afternoon, you can call me Stephanie.
Our strategy for this Labour conference is embrace the geek, and not, as I said earlier, release the gimp.
Here in support of Testicular Cancer Awareness Week, it's Shadow Chancellor Ed Ball.
I don't know about you, but I have swallowed so much semen this weekend.
My name's Dave, like the TV channel. And I repeat the same old shit over and over again.
There you go. At the end of that round, the points go to Josh, Catherine and Andy.
Things you wouldn't hear in a nature show.
Well, that was a sticky moment. Last time I tickle a sperm whale.
It's been said that male cows don't defecate, but as you can see, that's bullshit.
The best way to tell the difference between an Indian and an African elephant is that one of them is an elephant.
Hello, I'm not an elephant.
Told you.
The baboon is one of the most sophisticated primates. Would you look at the arse on that?
And the reason why geese fly in a V formation is to act as chevrons for airplanes.
Coming up, a couple of rhinos banging and some monkeys finger blasting each other on extremely blue planets.
And what a magnificent scene. The monkey is lifting the lion cub towards the sun, and I'm being removed from the theatre for talking.
Dawn rises on the Serengeti. Dawn has no idea how she got there.
The gibbon is widely considered to be the most frequent masturbator in the entire animal kingdom. We'll see about that.
Hello, mates! I'm Danny Dyer, and welcome to Britain's longest dogs.
The camel can walk across the sand because of its toes, or, as scientists call them, fanny outlines.
And here we have a tiger happily eating Frosties. Tonight's episode is dedicated to the memory of our cameraman, Charles Frosties.
And here we see two majestic birds of prey, or nuns, as they're also called.
Here we have a woodchuck, also known as a groundhog, prompting the question, how much ground could a groundhog hog if a groundhog could hog ground?
As the three lions circle the female, we ask, when will footballers learn that no means no?
The crab scuttles into view. I should have used the special shampoo again.
And today we'll be talking about one of the largest land mammals to ever walk the earth, your mum.
Now we play a round called Don't Go Bacon My Heart. This game involves Gary and James, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers will step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is leadership.
Leadership looks fun, but it's stressful. Just look at anyone leading the conga. On the outside, it looks brilliant, having a great time all the time, just... Yes, you bloody are. Yes, you bloody are, mate. In their heads just going, I don't know where I'm going. I didn't plan a route. I never asked for any of this. God, I miss my family. Everyone's trapped in the conga. You think you can leave? You can't leave. Person at the back, maybe, they could let go and make a run for it. Everyone else, you let go. You're not out the conga. Now, you're the leader of a rival conga. Now you've got turf wars to worry about. Worst case scenario, you're second from the back, you let go. The one person behind you loves congas, isn't giving up for anyone. You're trying to mingle at the party with a maniac on your hips. You have a serious discussion about the Lib Dem conference and still going hell for leather. You'd have to go swimming just to get rid of them. Never going to lead a conga. Never going to lead a Three Cheers either. I don't know who these lunatics are. I don't know where you acquire that level of confidence. Just get up in a room full of people. 3 cheers for Jackie! Hip, hip! What if everyone goes, no? Not 3 cheers for Jackie, she's an unpleasant person. How about no cheers for Jackie? Hip, hip, shut up.
Things you wouldn't hear at a party conference.
Blackpool's nice, isn't it?
Unlike other party leaders I could mention, I am not a slave to the auto cue. Smile, pause, applause.
Would you please welcome the man who's made the Conservatives an electable force again, Gordon Brown!
I'm going to turn my back for 1 minute, and I want whoever stole David Blunkett's dog to put it back.
The delegates were so impressed by Ming Campbell's speech that they gave him a 10-minute standing cremation.
Kiss the baby. No, I'd better not. It might set my tag off.
Well, I must say, on this issue, I'm with Al-Qaeda.
So, for Scottish independence and cheaper parking, vote S, NCP.
In an attempt to be more like Barack Obama, Gordon Brown has sensationally blacked up.
And I do believe we are the only party who are going to do anything about the amount of unemployed dwarves in this country. In fact, I saw one just outside holding a sign that said, "No job, too small."
We're going to open this BNP conference with a prayer, so if you'd all like to turn towards Mecca.
Now we play a round called Angela Smirkel's Comedy Bailout. This game involves Nathan, Chris and Andy, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers will step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. The first subject is finance. Can I have somebody to go in and talk on that? Andy.
So, you can argue a lot of people have got too much money, couldn't you? I would personally argue anybody who ever bought the autobiography of the talking meerkat, Alexander Orloff, you have too much money. Anybody who's ever bought glow-in-the-dark loo roll, you have too much money. Anybody who's ever bought a cosy sofa blanket with sleeves called a slanket, you know who you are. Also, anybody who's ever bought an innocent smoothie. How expensive are they? £2.49 for a bottle the size of a specimen sample. And they have the cheek to call them innocent. Ladies and gentlemen, go to a supermarket, buy yourself a banana. It will cost you 20 pence. Take a big bite, go, and you would have saved yourself £2.49.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is health. Who wants to come in on that?
Right, health. I actually don't have that good a relationship with my GP. For one reason and one reason only. Up until the age of 17, my GP had me on their records as a woman. But yeah, they had me on their records as Miss N. Caton. And then one day they sent me a letter in the post addressed to Miss N. Caton. Now, because I'm 17, I don't really pay attention to the detail. I open the letter, and the letter says, "Dear Miss N. Caton, your doctor surgery would like to invite you to attend a cervical screening next Monday at 9. Now, this is where I messed up. See, at 17, I knew what cervical was. That's obvious, right? But what I didn't know was that there's more than one meaning for the word screening. I thought screening was like, you know, you're screening a film. So, when it said we would like to invite you to attend a cervical screening, in my ignorant, naive 17-year-old brain, I honestly thought I was being invited to watch a movie about women's genitalia. Right? Now, I'm 17, I'm horny, I'm a virgin. Am I going to go? You're damn right I am. So next Monday morning, I go to my GP, I get to the reception, it's full of women, doesn't put me off. Right? Walk up to the receptionist, I go, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Nathan Caton, I'm here for the cervical screening." She looks up, sees me standing there with nachos, popcorn and pick and mix. Starts laughing in my face.
OK, that leaves you with Chris. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is relaxation.
We're obsessed in this country, obsessed with relaxation. Currently, Waitrose, in their essential range, sell Waitrose Essential Lavender-Scented Candle. Because we've all been there, haven't we, ladies and gentlemen? There are no lavender candles in the house, darling. How am I to have a petal-strewn bath with my whale noise CD? Whale noise CDs. We are gullible bastards. We will buy anything so long as we've been told that it's relaxing. Whale noises? No. Are you relaxed? I've never been more at peace. I saw a CD once called Relax with Pure Scottish Moods. Relax with Pure Scottish Moods! Relax! Track 1, bit chippy. Track 2, slightly resentful in the country in the first place. Track 3, go, you bastards!
Very good, well done there. Point to Chris, congratulations. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Matt, which category would you like?
World news, please.
OK, world news it is. The answer is petrol, money and drugs. What is the question?
What will the motto be for the Qatar World Cup?
Yes, the question I was looking for is what items are at risk of running out in Greece after Sunday's crucial vote on the EU's bailout terms. This is news as 61% of the Greek population voted against accepting the strict austerity measures proposed by the EU. There's now a real risk that the country will run out of money, fuel and medicine. So what does it all mean for Greece?
It's ridiculous now. The whole thing is just going on. It is like a soap opera. And I don't watch the Eurozone crisis now day to day. I wait till Sunday and I watch the omnibus edition.
This thing of just referring to the Greek exit as Grexit, it just is like, are you in that much of a hurry that you couldn't say a third syllable?
If the British exit happens, it's going to be called Brexit. It sounds like a cheap form of Lego, or what the Greek Prime Minister does every time he meets Angela Merkel.
Let's kick off with a round called Inside the Mind of. With the G8 conference fast approaching, we clamber inside the mind of the American president. Can anyone tell me what the voices inside George W. Bush's head might be saying?
Are they saying, if you step on the cracks in the pavement, George, we have to invade Syria?
Unlikely film trailers.
Harrison Ford is 73 and he's back in Indiana Jones and the tricky patch of ice outside the post office.
We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what's going on here?
Is it the only couple that Ed Balls would beat on Strictly?
He's saying, please join me, Owen, on my cabinet. I'm so lonely.
I imagine Jeremy Corbyn's just going, I did warn you, Owen. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
He's incredible in that he can gather so many people together in a rally and they sort of see him as a messiah in the same way he will probably be crucified in the next election.
There's a Chancellor George Osborne ahead of the Conservative Party conference this week. A recent survey has put him well ahead of his rivals to succeed David Cameron as the party leader. It's exciting to know that this has already started.
Yeah.
Party leader election, which will take place in 2019, and there's already polls about who's going to be taking over.
Well, I hope it's not him, actually. I hope it's Boris. Because if Boris gets in and Corbyn's in, you can forget about politics altogether, don't have an election, have no election at all, and just settle it all with a bicycle race.
Your category is politics. The answer is 4%. What is the question?
Is it, what are the chances of Johnny Depp appearing on the next series of Mr. and Mrs?
Is it how much of the old Top Gear audience has Chris Evans held on to?
Including that.
Clarkson's in?
Is it by 2017 what proportion of celebrities will still be alive?
I know. Ooh, we're not the one killing them. Right? Here's a picture of Leader of the Opposition, David Cameron. But what does TLEC stand for?
Is it Tories launch exfoliating cream? Where would you put it?
Or is it the Top Man launch Eton collection?
Or is it just simply Tosser leading everyone to catastrophe?
Are you not a natural Tory?
Commercials that never made it to air.
To qualify for second meerkat toy, Alexander has invaded Ukraine.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is health. Andy Parsons.
With flu jabs now, what they do, don't they, is they put a little bit of flu into you to help you combat the flu. I was thinking by that argument, surely you should be able to have the odd cake to help you fight obesity. Because let's face it, you can do too much exercise, can't you? You know, did you see Madonna's arms? They didn't look right, did they? It was like half human, half Terminator. Of course, that's a problem when you're always picking up small African children going, no, no, no.
Thank you very much, Andy. What did David Cameron announce on Father's Day?
He announced that he wanted people to stigmatise runaway fathers in the same way that we stigmatise drunk drivers.
Yes. It was an unfair attack by David Cameron, really. I mean, he just stigmatised the whole group. Just because you father a child out of wedlock, you run away, take no responsibility for that child and never see them, does not mean that you're not Mayor of London.
This is a picture of the victorious German football team celebrating their World Cup win in the dressing room with Chancellor Angela Merkel. Germany defeated Argentina in the final by a single goal from Mario Götze in extra time, becoming the first European team ever to win a World Cup in South America. Were you shouting for anyone or not for anyone? Or
most English people were shouting for Germany, which is a first, really, isn't it?
I didn't mind who won. I just it was a good game, but I found it very difficult just watching as an England fan because it all gone so wrong for England. And I bet if you're watching in 4 years' time on Dave, we're still shit, aren't we?
I could never support the Argentinians, not after what Maradona did, Wembley 2003. He didn't sing Material Girl.
The one I love, the guy I love being there was Putin, because he was there because they're hosting the next one, isn't it?
Yes.
And every country that hosts it is desperate to win. And he must have been looking at that final thinking, the only way that Russia are going to win is if we invade Germany.
Putin sitting next to Blatter was the finest photograph in the history of democracy. How do you win your elections? Oh, I never run against anyone. Me neither! High five! High five!
The death of Brazilian football. That's what they'd witnessed.
Oh, yeah.
Not funny, but
that was
interesting.
Well, you say that. It was kind of funny. There was, because a few weeks ago I was talking about the head, you know, the way they were overemphasising the pretty women in the crowd type shots all the time. And I said, and I on the show called for more shots of children crying. Yeah. And then when they posted, there's that one of a small boy just blubbing his eye, and he's pushing his glasses out of his face, and he's got a Coca-Cola can, which is beautiful branding, absolutely spectacular branding, and he's weeping into it. And I got sent that image 4,000 or 5,000 times on Twitter in the minute after it was posted with the words "Happy now." Yes, I was. I went through it. Welcome. Which category would you like?
Home news.
Home news it is. The category is home news. The answer is 12 days. What is the question?
How long is Andy Murray gonna party after his won Wimbledon?
We'd like to believe so.
Is Andy Murray stupidly about to post his gold medals?
Where's Andy Murray?
Andy Murray is in Dunblane in Scotland. This is his homecoming after winning the US Open, which was a surprise to me, as I had no idea he played golf.
Andy Murray, a man who actually came along to our studios, didn't he?
Yes, indeed he did.
Came along after he'd lost Wimbledon.
Yep.
And then after we'd all taken the piss out of him,
yep,
he went off and he won the Olympics and he won the US Open.
Yes.
I think all sports people who are struggling should come into the audience of the show. Let's get Paula Radcliffe, Philip Sidowu, Nick Clegg. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
I think if I was opening a Pizza Express, I'd open it next to a Vision Express, so we got some of their customers by mistake.
We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of the spectacular opening to the Olympic Games. But what does BGMC stand for?
Is it British Gas Managers Celebrate?
The answer is 1,000,000%. What is the question?
Is it, what is the blood alcohol content of Amy Winehouse?
Oh, yeah, we're wearing the same thing. How terribly embarrassing. I didn't know you had a kilt. Well, we didn't have a kilt. It was, the inquest... Oh, look, someone's been sick. Has Harry been in? There is your luggage, Your Highness. Oh, good. That's my cheese for the journey. Don't want to keep anyone waiting. Wish my mother felt the same.
Unlikely things to hear in a TV election debate.
I think of this studio as a second home, which is why I'm claiming expenses for it.
My girlfriend and I love watching box sets. We got 3 episodes into Orange is the New Black before finding out it wasn't about what would happen if Trump replaced Obama.
Thank you very much. Well done. Point in that round. Gonna go to lady. Come back. The first subject is rejected exam questions.
History. Did I delete it?
If cycling 10 miles a day uses up 400 calories, explain why Boris Johnson is still a fat bastard.
If the sun is 93 million miles away, how can that cost £32 in an Uber?
Where is Greece? Is it A, the southern Mediterranean, or B, up shit creek?
What does the French phrase déjà vu literally translate as?
Using examples of Michelangelo's work, write 500 words on why he was the best turtle.
What does the French phrase déjà vu literally translate as?
Question A. Media studies. Is it a real subject? Question B. Is it...
Using a compass and ruler, draw perfect cock and balls.
Is this a rhetorical question?
You may now commence your anal sex exam. Please turn over.
Explain how UKIP became a major force in British politics without using the word wanker.
If Jay-Z is unfortunate enough to have a problem with a bitch, how many problems does Jay-Z now have?
Aggravated violence, question 1. Why might you use a bit of rubber hosepipe? No marks.
What colour is this dress? White and gold or black and blue? Discuss.
If a train leaves the station at the correct time and arrives at its destination at the correct time, how cool would that be?
Chemistry. Me, you. Is there any?
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to say when running for US president.
I'm Hillary Clinton, and if you elect me the first female president of the United States, I promise you that on my first day in the White House, I will hire a very attractive male intern. He will be on his knees, not having sexual relations with me all day. Hashtag payback, hashtag long game.
I want to go to Washington. Why? I want to see what colour the White House is.
No, we can't!
The name Clinton is in the DNA of the White House. In fact, the DNA of Clinton on the walls of the White House.
I know the value of family because I sold one of my children to pay for this campaign.
As president, I will welcome immigrants, because the White House is massive and it's not going to clean itself.
I will govern for all of this country, not just the metropolitan cities on the coast, but also you cousin shaggers down south.
I would like to introduce you to my new Homeland Security Advisor. Say hi, Lamb Chop.
Hi. Come on, of course I'm the guy to succeed Obama. You know what they say? Once you go black.
If you elect me America's first colourblind president, I will do everything I can to uphold the values of the brown, white and green.
I would now like to talk to you people in a language of my own devising.
I want to put more boots on the ground in Afghanistan. And also 2 more branches of Paper Chase.
What you must remember is the people we need to convince are the great American people. And most of them are as thick as pig shit.
I'd like to apologise for Mr. Trump. Which is what I say when I've just farted in bed.
When I was little, I did not plan to be President of the United States. This is more like a holding job until I get to rule a good country.
I am American through and through. Cut me, and I will shoot you in the face.
I wish to have no secrets in this campaign. I wish to be completely open, and that is done. That is why I'm going to start that again, because I fucked that up.
We Republicans want to reach out to all Americans. Blacks, whites, Chinese-y-looking ones.
I want to have no secrets in this campaign, and that is why I have gathered you here tonight to tell you I shot JFK.
OK, give that round of applause to Ed, Sarah and Andy.
OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is advertising. Who wants to come in? Mark.
I just think aggressive advertising has gone too far. It actually has the opposite effect for me. I saw a trailer for a film, Them. It was called Them. So I know it's a silly name. What do you mean, them? That's just anyone apart from me, for a start. Right? You'll narrow it down a bit. But it said on this trailer, you'll never feel safe in your home again. I think, OK, I won't go and see that then, thank you. Who needs to pay £12 for that? Yeah, how was the film? Brilliant. We've had to move out, though, unfortunately. It drives you mad. After a while, you just think, can't people just calm down a bit? But in London, nearly everything is cleverly marketed. Even toilets. In London, you never just get toilets that say men, women. There's always a theme, like, you know, bucks and does. I think I don't know the answer. I'm drunk. Where do I piss? Let's just cut to the chase, shall we? I was in London, in this pub, the toilet said XX and XY. Like chromosomes. I know, I didn't realise I have to revise for this wee. You know? I would have done different A-levels if I realised it would restrict my pissing in the future.
Thank you very much, Mark. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is charity. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
It's, cheer if anyone's ever given clothes to Oxfam. Fair enough. You whooped then. Woo, do we win a prize? No. It's a really odd feeling because you feel quite proud of yourself. Just wonder, where am I going? I'm off to save Africa. That's right. And you wander in, you just plop down your clothes. Always some lovely lady buying it anywhere. And there's a tiny part of you that gets really annoyed. You almost want to go, right! Well, we'll do that again, shall we? And this time you're going to act like you give a shit. It sounds bad, but there's a tiny part of you that wants her to go, Sire, he brings goods. The chosen one has arrived. As you fling pants at orphans. Yippee, hurrah, will you ever be back in time, you needy tinkers? Banana dance.
Russell Howard. Unlikely things to hear on Doctor Who.
When I was giving you a quote as your cleaner, Doctor, I was giving you a quote from the outside.
No, there isn't going to be a new Doctor. I'm being replaced by a helpline.
That is the last time we park the TARDIS outside the Portaloos at Glastonbury.
Davros, we meet again. Oh, Lord Sugar, I'm so sorry.
Hey, saw you from across the TARDIS, and I think I regenerated in my pants.
Doctor, you must help me. I think I'm a pair of curtains.
Tragic news about the Ood. There's been a terrible flood. They tried to escape into the wood, but it didn't do any good, and now they're all dooed.
No, I'm a doctor who works for the World Health Organization.
Yes, I mainly hang around young women. Yes, I was on television in the 1970s. Where are you going with this?
You've got to believe me, Clara. This is our best chance. Now, unzip my flies and I'll explain later.
Let's go forward in time by an hour. Then we get a quid off the pizza.
Now, the first thing to remember on planet Xenon is turn off data roaming.
We are 10 million years in the future. H.G. Wells has just got married.
You are the doctor. I am the tracheotomy patient.
I am the doctor. I am 1,200 years old. And this is my assistant, who's 27.
Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I quote ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi film.
We've discovered an alien queen, and she's laid enough eggs to take over the galaxy. This writing, it says, Katuna.
I am C-3PO. This is my cousin, WD-40.
All right, Chewie, you look different after that back sack and crack wax.
My name is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is my brother, Oh Be Careful, my sister, Oh Behave, my dog, Oh Be a Sport.
Use the Force, Luke. I've run out of lubricant.
Yeah, that's right. We aliens have learnt your language by listening to your radio broadcasts.
The androids are going berserk, Captain. Let's try switching them off and then on again.
Stardate 2171.6. Captain's log. Still won't flush. I'll try again later.
Vader, you look like a big black dildo.
Captain, I've been repeatedly firing this laser at that alien, but all I've managed to do is improve its eyesight and give it a Brazilian.
It's not easy being a Vulcan, Captain. Due to my death grip, I can't masturbate.
Had that hairball in there for years.
You're loving Chewie.
I need to break into the Death Star's computer system. Who knows Darth Maul's mother's maiden name?
Captain, the ethereal sounds being made by this beautiful dying creature from another world is some funky shit.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on the radio.
In that episode of the Hugh Dennis story, Hugh Dennis was played by Bruce Willis, Steve Punt was played by Hugh Dennis, and the band was Shawaddy Waddy.
You touch my turnips and I'll fuck you up.
And now for a travel update. There is an accident on the M1. It's a good one, so hurry up. There's flames and everything.
Next, a book at bedtime. Martin Jarvis reads the speeches of Hitler in a high-pitched girl's voice.
Good afternoon, this is Radio 4 and I have a regional accent.
Next on Radio 4, the dogging forecast.
Here on Traffic Watch, we're predicting long delays on the M4, where I'm about to hit my ex-wife's car with this helicopter.
And now it's the panel show where our panel try to stave off premature ejaculation. Yes, it's just a minute.
Good morning, this is Breakfast with Tony Blackburn. I'm not actually on the radio, I've broken into your kitchen. Do you want toast?
Next, more lesbian propaganda with Woman's Hour.
Well, you've certainly stumped the Gardener's Question Time panel. None of us know how to bring a fox to orgasm.
You're listening to Heart FM. The same 5 songs all day long.
"6 a.m, welcome to the breakfast show. Who's up at 6 a.m? My wife's leaving me. My dad didn't get up at 6 a.m, and he was a fucking minor."
OK, then that round the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Michael. Unlikely things to hear on a TV talent show.
Tonight, I'm going to be climbing a step ladder.
You're right. I can't sing. Thanks.
I'd like to dedicate this song to a friend of mine who was run over last week and is in hospital. The wheels of the bus go round and round, round and round.
I've got an ability that no one on this planet has. That's Ant, that's Dec.
It was like Elvis was in the building. You're fat and there's a stench of death.
Well, Peter, it's not what everyone would call entertainment, but you are one hell of an assassin.
I thought you hit the high notes really, really well. Be interesting to see if you can still do that when I haven't got your nuts in a clamp.
Hello. Where's my double act partner? Oh, he's in here. Feeling nothing more than feeling. Trying to fall.
When you said you were going to ride a donkey...
Yes, I have been on the show before. I was once trapped in somebody else's underpants, going, feeling.
That was an exceptional performance, and the way that you have overcome your blindness is truly inspirational. But this is a chip shop, the X Factor audition.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're all terrible, OK? All of you, you're completely dreadful. I don't know what you're doing. Especially you, Hasselhoff. What have you done since Baywatch?
And as well as that, I can unzip the top of my head. It's where I keep my pyjamas.
I know you said you were a Gary Glitter tribute act, but we weren't expecting you to do that.
So, what else? In other health news? What health initiative is coming into schools?
Michael Gove is saying school lunches should be banned because apparently only 1% of them meet the nutritional requirements that school dinners are supposed to have.
Yes, that is generally the gist of it,
That's
right?
the facts.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have a joke.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But it says only 1% of. I mean, what are people?
I don't like the story anyway. Is it just me? I don't want to think about Michael Gove's lunchbox. I just don't want to think about it.
Well, I'm sorry. I presume people put it. And what are people putting into it? Like they only 1%.
Well, not the kind of stuff. You see, this seems to me a very unfair story because they're saying that packed lunches are very unhealthy compared with school lunches, but they're not. I mean, when I only ever had packed lunches. I had brown bread sandwiches. I had 2 cubes of jelly.
What?
Yeah.
Jelly that wasn't made?
Jelly that wasn't made, because my mum didn't like giving us chocolate or sweets or something. She used to cut up jelly. Oh. She used to cut up a jelly, you know, the cube that you make it from, and give me 2 bits of it. And it was really, really nice. But for the rest of the day after I'd had it, I was always slightly worried that it might turn into jelly.
Just a huge shape.
If you drank a glass of water, it would sort of go.
Just split apart and there'd be a huge-shaped jelly there. That's the biggest jelly baby in the world.
And I also did point out to you that you also said you had brown bread sandwiches. Do you mean like 2 slices of brown bread with a slice of brown bread?
You have to. I mean, how can packed lunches have only 1% of the nutritional requirement of a school dinner? What are people putting in these packed lunches? Is it like a large sandwich and a sugar cube? You're thinking some of the kids must be so stupid they're actually eating the plastic box.
I thought parents have more control.
No, but they do. The problem is parents do have control. Every time they try and solve this problem, the parents get in the way. When Jamie Oliver tried it, right, tried to get rid of turkey twizzlers and put healthy food in schools, so mum's at the school gate passing packets of chips through to their children. If you want to solve this problem, it's not a policy thing. Just make the railings thinner so they can't shove the massive hand. Sandra, you're going to have to put your face right up and eat a feed into your individual. You know which kids it was? They're going after lunch with shiny lips and 2 rust lines down the face.
I have to, you're making an excellent point, but you said turkey twizzlers. I genuinely thought you said when they tried to get rid of Turkish prisoners. Why are Turkish prisoners feeding children in school?
Because they are getting
for the rest of that for the whole thing, I was going, well, one of them is called Sandra.
And that really is the clue as to the likelihood that I didn't actually say that.
Yeah, I suppose.
You put it that way, it makes more sense.
They're suggesting that teachers should eat with the kids. But the thing is that, you know, a lot of teachers do currently eat with the kids, although it's usually in the form of a romantic meal, isn't it?
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, DVD owner.
The subject is family. Who wants to come out of that?
So, it wasn't easy growing up trying to be a little liberal kid in the most right-wing family in the whole of my town. My dad was the most right-wing person I knew, but always quick to point out, I'm not racist, but... That was the danger word. I'm not racist, but... Or the latest remix, which is even more innocuous and dangerous. All I want to do is have a sensible discussion about immigration. Yeah? Isn't it? Well, no one with that face wants a sensible discussion about anything. I just want to have a sensible little chat in the back of that transit van over there, yeah? Me and my brothers, the rest of your family, Mr. Woolham whatever your bloody name is, mate, yeah? Get in the van, right? My dad even managed to be prejudiced about my first car decision. How do you even achieve that? By British or German. Do not bring Crappanese onto my driveway, boy. Not only that, but I chose a hybrid car. Part electric, part petrol, papa, right? Another question mark hanging over my sexuality. It's the the noise of it when it drove off. Thanks for Sunday lunch. Bye, Daddy.
Well done. Good man. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is jobs.
I used to work at a Christian rock festival selling toasties. The best day was when I sold this Jewish bloke some yellow ham. My dad was a dustman. I didn't like him coming to collect us from school, though. Not because I was ashamed he was a dustman, it's just you never knew which day he was going to come. The rest of my family were police marksmen. Apart from my grandfather, he was a bank robber. He died quite recently, surrounded by his family. My uncle, he's a police frogman. No, sorry, he's a French policeman. I used to work in a supermarket. It was my job to hand out samples of things for people to taste. But I was asked to leave after the little cups of bleach incident. After that, I worked in a pathology lab. But I was asked to leave after one of my reports said, cause of death, autopsy.
Point to the end of the angle to Milton Jones! Come on back.
Things you wouldn't hear on the radio.
Mime.
I'm sorry for that small pause just at the end of that record there. Only my shit took slightly longer than I expected.
This is Top DJs of the 1970s. Prison radio has never sounded so good.
A hideous car crash has occurred at the end of the A19. It's called Doncaster.
Another shipping forecast issued by the Met Office at 23:43 on Saturday the 8th. It's going to piss it down.
You're listening to BBC Wiltshire because your car radio has lost reception to what you were listening to.
And next up on the Archers, there's an axe murderer on the loose. Not really. Someone has an argument with their housekeeper.
Travel news. A coachload of origami enthusiasts has broken down on the M1, and they're all currently sat on the hard shoulder making paper models of cars. Traffic is described as stationary.
You're listening to Saga Radio. You're listening...
Lidl, Aldi, later Tesco. This concludes the shopping forecast.
Have you been injured at work? Maybe you should turn the radio off and concentrate properly on what you're doing.
But you're dead. We're all dead. We've all been dead from the beginning. You've been listening to the final ever episode of The Archers.
Next up on Gardener's Question Time, I'll be trying not to laugh like a schoolboy when a woman phones in with a problem about her box hedge.
Due to tomorrow's BBC strike, tomorrow's Today programme will be today's Today programme, but called Yesterday.
Sometimes when you listen to the radio, there's a tune that you can't get out of your head. It sort of plays again and again and again. It sort of gets faster and faster and faster, and finally it comes on.
Okay, give that round of applause to James, Sarah and Andy. Okay, here we go. The first subject is the Olympics. Who wants to come in that? Any person?
Now, I don't know how you got on with getting tickets for the Olympics. There are still tickets for the Greco-Roman wrestling. Yeah, whoopee-doo. There aren't so many Romans in Britain anymore, are there? And those Greeks can't afford the tickets. And we will have forever our first GB football team. Yeah, it'll be the first time that Ryan Giggs, Ashley Cole and John Terry have got together since the last Miss World contest. But if you haven't got any tickets, go and see the Olympic road race cycling, right? It's free, yeah? But it's not the same as proper road cycling. Never in the Olympics do you see somebody having to go off into a ditch because there's a lorry turning left. Never do you see somebody go over the handlebars because some idiot in his car has opened the door without looking in his side mirror. Never do you see somebody fall off their bike because a car has screamed past and somebody has whined down the window and shouted, "Boo!" Although that may happen when the Olympics come to Hackney in 2012.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is food. Who wants to talk about that? Milton.
I went for an Italian recently. Well, he was annoying me. Incredible to think, isn't it, that every single Scotsman started off as a Scotch egg. Cold and gingery. I was grilling some tomatoes the other day, saying, "Who are you? Where'd you come from?" I almost got into the SAS. I failed on one question. They said, right, imagine the scenario. Terrorists have taken hostages. They're holding them in an embassy. What are your preferred tactics? I said, I like the orange ones. I was in the park the other day watching an old man feed the birds, and after a while I thought to myself, I wonder how long he's been dead. When the boys in the playground found out that I had a potentially fatal allergy to peanuts, they used to shove me up against a wall and make me play Russian roulette with a bag of Revels. That's all. Good night.
That leaves us with Mickey. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is culture.
Thank you. I know you're thinking this man doesn't enjoy culture. Well, you're right, I hate it. Now, I am an intellectual. I know I left school with nothing, but I did go to university later on when I got a degree when I was 29. It was tough speaking up during the lecture, knowing everyone's thinking, blimey, the window cleaner's keen on me. But when I came out, when I got the degree, I thought, that's it, I'll be interested in things now, won't I? It's all going to be fine. So I thought I'll go back to the art galleries again. Went into the art gallery. I don't like art galleries. I'm never quite sure how long you're supposed to look at the pictures for. I should give you a bit of guidance, you know, because I can crack on in a gallery, I really can. 3 or 4 minutes. Boss, that's not bad, that's not bad, that's not bad. He's messed that up. I can be over by the door in about 5 minutes. The wife's crying at her Matisse. Come on, love, there's a Wetherspoons round the corner. But the other thing is, you've got to enjoy looking at other cities, apparently. The city break, does it actually exist, the city break? Is it a real thing? Went with the wife to Prague the other week, and she said, after a couple of days, she said, are you enjoying yourself? I said, yeah, I've just paid 15 quid for 2 cups of coffee. But at least we've got that bridge to walk over again, haven't we? Because I've never done that before. Or maybe we could go to the castle.
Points at the end of that round go to Andy and Mickey.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a survival show.
This is the most terrifying animal you can see in the wild. It has the body of Posh Spice.
Of course, if you're on an expedition, you must always make sure you boil all the water. Now, this can really slow you down if you come to a lake.
It's been 17 days since my last proper meal, and I am beach body ready, bitches.
Bear, are you related to George Foreman grills?
I've not had a bath for days on end. And that's because Rob Beckett's dad is in there.
There is barely any water here, so we've been collecting our urine. But this morning, some of it was gone, and that is taking the piss.
Spent 3 days in the jungle with nothing to eat but raw caterpillars. I remember the moment I walked back into civilization. Whew, there are a few butterflies in my stomach, I can tell you.
When I was thirsty, I was forced to drink my own urine. I'm now hungry and dreading dinner.
And when you're in the wild, you've got to remember what you learn at Scouts. Don't tell anyone our little secret.
Well, night is falling, it's raining, and I'm in the shelter, but it still feels dangerous here. There are 6 teenagers staring at me, and the bus doesn't arrive for 20 minutes.
If you suddenly see a bear extremely close to you, the best thing to do, stand stock still. Pull down your trousers and just let it have sex with you.
On the men's island, Derek's drinking coconut water because Derek's a hipster twat.
After 3 months totally alone on the island, it's amazing that John hasn't gone mad. Isn't that right, John? Yeah, it is, yeah.
So, I've managed to make a raft to escape the island by smashing up some boats.
Okay. The next topic is unlikely things to hear over at Tannoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Waitrose, you smug, rich pricks.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Would somebody please go to the power tools aisle and get me a drill?
If you see an unattended bag, please don't report it. Remember, you're in world of luggage.
Good evening, ladies. Topshop will be closing in 5 minutes. Please make your way to the till unless you're over 30, in which case piss off to M&S, you ancient old hag.
This is an announcement for the front desk of the swimming baths. Could doctor, someone's done a shit in the pool? Please come to reception.
Would the couple having sex in aisle 2 please stop? Spillage in aisle 2.
The 1625 has unfortunately been cancelled and has been replaced by a replacement bus service. EasyJet would like to apologise for all passengers who are going to Greece.
I only work in the post office for the crumpet. Watch this. Widow number 2, please.
In tonight's performance of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the part of the child catcher will be played by a 1970s TV presenter.
Welcome to Sexist Airways. I'm just going to pop on the seatbelt sign for a moment because we're swapping to a lady pilot.
We are now coming into land in Russia, where the local time is 1956.
Welcome aboard the one-way saga service special to Switzerland.
Just trying to have a laugh.
Attention to the submarine crew of HMS Nando's. Be careful not to burn your eyes on the periscope.
Lost children can be found at the Lost Children tent. If they're not claimed by the end of the day, they will be destroyed.
Welcome to Megabus. Things haven't worked out quite as well as you were hoping, have they?
Welcome to the sexist supermarket. Checkout number 3.
Okay, get that round. The points go to Josh Hewitt Milton.
That leaves us with Mickey. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is food. Oh, here you go.
Now, this is one of my favourite topics because I actually hate restaurants. And my wife loves restaurants. She's middle class. She's been skiing and everything. And she loves a restaurant. She says, can we go to a restaurant at the weekend? And I say, yes, we can. And we're there. We're barely there 2 minutes. And she's like, isn't it a lovely ambiance? And I say to her, I don't know what you're talking about. I've worked out what an ambiance is. It's a night out about poor people, isn't it, basically? It's people with a few quid to say, can we just have one night out about the poor people turning up? You know what they're like. They'll be banging spoons together, singing Mailman's a Dustman, creating an atmosphere. We want an ambiance. So we try and enjoy the ambiance. But something's happened spoiling it for me. There's no tomato sauce on the table. Creating the situation when my wife looked at me, she said, you're going to ask for tomato sauce, aren't you? I said, yes, I am. Because I'm going to have the risotto. You can't eat risotto without red sauce, it's too dry. It's a health and safety issue. You've got to zhuzh it up with a bit of red sauce, right? So I thought, I'm not having it. I said to the waitress, excuse me, do you have any ketchup in the building? She's looked at me like I'm the worst pleb God has ever put breath into. She went off to the kitchen and I saw her making her way back with a pot about that big, about 2 chipfuls of tomato sauce. I thought, oh, here we go. She's tried to put it down and walk away like she's doing a drug deal or something. And I stopped her. I said, hold on, love, don't rush off. And I took a sip of it. And I looked at her, I said, Jess, I'll have a bottle, please.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Well done.
And there they are, Scotland through to the final 16. Dear Babe Station, have you actually read the trade's description? That... A few years ago, my wife and I had a baby. Well, we didn't have it straight away. We had to cook it up for a little while. And so she suggested we go to these classes run by the National Childbirth Trust in our local area. They're very middle-class antenatal classes. They're run by this fascist breastfeeding woman. Who's basically, you can go to her home on a Tuesday night. She's breastfeeding her 9-year-old son during the session. It's not awkward. All the men are checking the coving out. It's come away up there because they should have put glue both sides. That's... No, she's still doing it. What are you going to do? And I think by week 4 she's running out of ideas, so she started on the men. She said, I'm going to ask the men this evening, the men are coming on board. How might they benefit by giving birth to the baby themselves? Can we talk about those benefits? Now, there's 6 of us in a circle. I'm in trap 3, not the best position, the worst one either. Chap number 1's in the best position. He said, if you gave birth to the baby yourself, he said you'd have an empathy with womankind and her struggle over the centuries, creating a greater relationship with your partner. I was thinking, oh, cobblers, I was going to use that one. Chap number 2 dug in, fair enough. He said, well, if you gave birth to the baby yourself, he said you'd have a bond with the child at a more primeval, physical level. Started crying. Nice touch. Mother Earth looked at me, I'm having a panic attack. It's all gone a bit hazy. She said, Michael? I said, well, at least you'll be 100% sure it was yours. Mr. Von Trapp, I'm here from the council. We've had complaints about some terrible singing coming from your house. Golden, relax. We're doing a bit of dinner, mate. You're not sorting out the Middle East here.
And the topic is fashion. OK, Mickey.
Bound to be, wasn't it? I've returned to the vest. Happened a couple of years ago. I was walking through Marx's to get me pants. You always go back to Marx's. And, they know. They look at you. They go, you come back and you try. You went the next, didn't you? Got flash. And I saw the vest. Packet of singlet vests. I thought, I'm having them. Put them in my basket. I covered them over like pornography. Got to the counter. I said to woman, get them in the bag, love, get them in the bag. Got home, I shook one of these vests out. I thought, put it on. I thought, that is the answer. The wife came home. She said, what's all this with the vest? I said, I like them. I'm returned to the vest. She said, I don't mind, but only indoors. So for a couple of years, I've worn the vest, sort of in secret. But the other day, I'd had a couple of cans of beer and I wanted a couple more, so I got up to go out and my wife said, the vest. I said, no more. I refuse to live a lie. I'm standing up for vest wearers all over the world. I marched off down the off here. I've got 2 cans of Stella Artois. Put one in my back pocket, cracked the other one open. And I walked back from the off in my vest. I made a discovery. You drink a can of Stella and wear a vest, you get a bit of space. And on Time Team tonight, we're in Stratford-on-Avon, where we've uncovered loads of monkey skeletons and some typewriters. To be honest, I'm not interested in all this old nonsense, really, but Since the end of Blackadder, the work's been fairly hard to come by.
The topic is culture.
I'll see you laughing. Yeah, here we go, look. Thank you. I know you're thinking this man doesn't enjoy culture. Well, you're right, I hate it. Now, I am an intellectual. I know I left school with nothing, but I did go to university later on when I got a degree when I was 29. It was tough, speaking up during the lecture, knowing everyone's thinking, blimey, the window cleaner's keen, isn't he? But when I came out, when I got the degree, I thought, that's it, I'll be interested in things now, won't I? It's all going to be fine. So I thought I'll go back to the art galleries again. Went into the art gallery. I don't like art galleries. I'm never quite sure how long you're supposed to look at the pictures for. It should give you a bit of guidance, you know, because I can crack on in a gallery, I really can. 3 or 4 minutes. Boss, that's not bad, that's not bad, that's not bad. Just mess that up. I can be over by the door in about 5 minutes. The wife's crying at a Matisse. Come on, love, there's a Wetherspoons round the corner. But the other thing is, you've got to enjoy looking at other cities, apparently. The city break, does it actually exist, the city break? Is it a real thing? Went with the wife to Prague the other week, and she said, after a couple of days, she said, are you enjoying yourself? I said, yeah, I've just paid 15 quid for 2 cups of coffee. But at least we've got that bridge to walk over again, haven't we? Because I've never done that before. Or maybe we could go to the castle. Thank you very much. Who was the chap in the A team who would not get on the aeroplane? Was it A, B, or B, A? What's the name of that round thing that they throw in the Olympics? Discuss.
And subject is fashion.
Now, I'll tell you about fashion. Now, a few years ago, I was looking for a new image. So I started going on stage like this, thinking that'll create an image for me. They'll go, oh, you've seen the geezer, stunning looking, where's his top button done up? Right? But I subsequently found out the image this tends to create is you're a wanker. So I looked into the whole issue of it, and I'll tell you the situation with the shirt button, OK? So, because the people don't really thought of like that, they tend to undo their top button. There we go. It's better, isn't it? However, it's not enough. Still a bit too high. Still a bit of tension in the room. What you really want is one more. Watch. See that? It's palpable, isn't it? Everyone's going, whoa, thank God for that. That is the level of buttonage we require from a man going out for the evening to the all bar one. Very good. However, if I go one more, I'm suddenly back to being an arsehole again. How tough is it being a man knowing that you're going through life only ever one button away from being a wanker or an arsehole?
There you go. Well done all of you. The points there. And go to Simon and Mickey. Come on, let's sit down.
Here, Sarge, pass us the art section out the Guardian, will you, mate? I was about to arrest her, Sarge, but to be honest, my bottle went because she shouted out, I put a curse upon you!
OK.
Has anybody noticed Dara's eye, by the way? Is it off-putting? Do you think the people at home will be concerned? What has happened?
I do. There's just a little star in there. It's just got infected. So
is that really it?
No, it's a.
Has Brian Cox been beating you again?
Look into the telescope. He said, "Look hard into the telescope," and he bruised my eye, ramming it in. Shit. Go on. Look at That'll hurt you. That's my good eye, Brian. That's my good eye.
He's just trying to turn you into Patrick Moore.
They're so worried they get me an eye patch. That, like, this would be much more subtle if I played that. I presented the entire show like that because I've got a tiny infection in the eye. To be fair, I have a secret desire to have an eye patch. You know, I don't want to ever lose an eye. That's not how much I want to have an eye patch, but I think they're cool. It's something massively impressive, because a guy with an eye patch, shit has happened. Because also you can do this. Sexy. Play the final part of undressing in a sexy way, where we take off the eye patch and what?
You take my eye
out. In other news, what do doctors want us to stop using?
They're waiting rooms to sleep in.
People taking helium, and they enjoy it, and they speak very highly.
Bizarrely, that's correct.
It's a finite resource, and it's needed for MRI scanners.
And what not? Yes, very, very true. Yeah, it's being used up on fripperies like balloons. And squeaky voices.
Yeah, although I'm doing this one without it.
They're worried that instead of helium then in balloons, they will instead start using nitrous oxide in balloons. But nitrous oxide is laughing gas. So then that's the worry, that the kids will be able to get high on their balloons if we end up having to do party balloons with nitrous oxide.
But if you're worried about kids getting high on nitrous oxide balloons, you can surely get high on a helium balloon just by holding on to it.
I was doing a gig at Festival, I think it was, and you could hear when people are taking nitrous, like you can hear it because there's an audible because they do it into a balloon and into their mouth to give themselves a giggle. And people were doing it at my gig. Actually, kind of it's a cruel heckle, isn't it? It's like, OK, I'm going to need something to get me through this.
Is it not people that you deliver one of your trademark jokes and the crowd will go... Was that not the sentence?
I only found out those little canisters that they suck it from are called whippets. The little canisters of nitrous oxide.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they're called whippets. Somebody said to me, the kids are sucking whippets in the park. And I was like, oh, my God, do I need to call the RSPCA?
By the way, how do scientists now think the universe will end?
Oh, spoiler alert.
It's a thing called the Big Rip.
Yes.
The universe is sort of is accelerating so fast and getting faster and faster and faster that eventually it will just rip itself apart.
Yeah.
Is that right? And that'll be the end.
They say this, how do scientists now think? What other nonsense have scientists just made up about what might happen 20 billion years from now when no one's around to say, oh, you got that one wrong? It's just nonsense that his mate Brian natters on about to keep himself siphoning BBC funds into his big fat bank account. I'll tell you what, it's all hot shit.
The next topic is the worst thing your new neighbour could say.
What day do the bins go out round here? My wife's body's starting to stink.
Well, looks like we got ourselves a fresh one.
I hope my turkeys won't be keeping you awake.
My wife and I are nudists and have been for the past 70 years.
You're bigger than you look through the telescope.
Welcome to the street, or as we like to call it, the cul-de-sac of Christ.
Do you like the music of... What?
I can see you when you sleep.
Yes, that's right. The wife breeds Rottweilers, the children are in a brass band, and I'm a paedophile.
It's simple. Your dog and I are in love.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The winners of that round are Frankie, Hugh and Rod. Sit down, everyone.
I think they're not kind of thinking it through. There's easy ways to save money. I was a student. That's who you go to. Like, I just think Osborne make a massive bolognese. That'll get you through for like a year. And then I think Britain would save a lot of money if, say, we just got really drunk before you went out. That saves you a lot of money. And, like, if he just gave us his Orange Wednesdays code, that would save us a lot of money. Did you see the cartoon that George Osborne voiced about this to explain what the cuts will involve?
Is it Tory Story?
What type of pensioners are being singled out in this?
Rich pensioners.
Rich pensioners.
The worst of all the pensioners.
And how do we know which ones are rich? How do we possibly estimate?
Have they got a blue light underneath their trolley?
No, that is Dave's not rich. Dave's pensions what talk like that, yeah?
Yeah.
It's going to happen one day. In like 50 years, there'll be people going, can I have my pension, yeah, blood, yeah? Besides, like, totally needing some beans and that.
So what they need to do, the government, they've got to cut stuff, and they've just got to think out of the box, haven't they? So they could, in fact, cut old age benefits and cut youth unemployment if they did the very logical thing, which is allow old people to burn young people.
How is that?
They're just not thinking. They're just not thinking.
You're right. They're right. They're not thinking. Why did that not come from? I don't think somewhere there's a dry whiteboard with that written and a line gone through it. There's somebody who went. I don't even.
Let the weak die and burn young
They
people.
didn't say that. They were like, no, don't rub it off. Just put a line through it. It might come back to you.
Let's leave that one inside. We're just going to put a pin in that one, and we might come back to it again. By the way, what did Labour say they would do about these cuts if they win the next election, which takes place before these cuts go away?
Miliband said he would keep them exactly the same. There's only one policy he's going to change, he said, and that was immigration policy, and that is basically to prevent his brother from coming back from America.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear over a tannoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Waitrose, you smug, rich pricks.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Would somebody please go to the power tools aisle and get me a drill?
If you see an unattended bag, please don't report it. Remember, you're in world of luggage.
Good evening, ladies. Topshop will be closing in 5 minutes. Please make your way to the till unless you're over 30, in which case piss off to M&S, you ancient old hag.
This is an announcement for the front desk of the swimming baths. Could doctor someone's done a shit in the pool? Please come to reception.
Would the couple having sex in aisle 2 please stop? Spillage in aisle 2.
The 1625 has unfortunately been cancelled and has been replaced by a replacement bus service. EasyJet would like to apologise for all passengers who are going to Greece.
I only work in the post office for the crumpet. Watch this. Widow number 2, please.
In tonight's performance of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the part of the child catcher will be played by a 1970s TV presenter.
Welcome to Sexist Airways. I'm just going to pop on the seatbelt sign for a moment because we're swapping to a lady pilot.
We are now coming into land in Russia, where the local time is 1956.
Welcome aboard the one-way saga service special to Switzerland.
Just trying to have a laugh.
Attention to the submarine crew of HMS Nando's. Be careful not to burn your eyes on the periscope.
Lost children can be found at the Lost Children tent. If they're not claimed by the end of the day, they will be destroyed.
Welcome to Megabus. Things haven't worked out quite as well as you were hoping, have they?
Welcome to the sexist supermarket. Checkout number 3.
Okay, get that right. The points go to Josh Hewitt-Milton.